time to start the show?
It is, Ryan.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. You're listening to Stadium Sessions. It's Crowder's new sports podcast show here on the Crowder campus. And how's everybody doing today? I imagine you're probably doing pretty good for Wednesday morning because you're now listening to my show. So, on Stadium Sessions, we'll talk about current sports stories around the world, from the Olympics to football, which did start last weekend, to NASCAR, baseball, soccer. If it's a sport, we'll talk about it. And also, we'll dive right into the Crowder sports as well. We'll take a look at the athletic programs here at Crowder, from softball to baseball, soccer, basketball. We'll have guests on the show, including sorry about that, Crowder athletes and coaches, and even some fan perspectives as well. So we also have a program with the Crowder Century. It's called our Most Valuable Player. And what we do is the Crowder students can vote for who they want to be represented as Crowder Century MVP. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. So, Amelia, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good deal. If you guys don't know her, this is Amelia Hill. She is the producer for my show, Stadium Sessions. Well, coming up, we'll talk a little bit about NASCAR. That's going to be our very first topic here on the show. And then later on in the show, we'll talk about that more about that Crowder MVP and how you can cast your vote. So stick around. We'll have more Stadium Sessions coming up after the break. Hey everybody, welcome back to Stadium Sessions. It's our Crowder's new sports podcast show here on the Crowder campus. And Amelia, do you know anything about NASCAR?
I don't.
Did you hear about that Richmond race last Saturday?
I think I heard you talking about it earlier.
Well, that Richmond race did see a lot, and now we're in the chase for the Sprint Cup. What it is it's a 10-race playoff to decide the Sprint Cup championship. And Richmond was the final race of the 26-race regular season that would decide the 12 drivers that would be in the playoffs. And that race did see a lot. And let's fast forward to the end of the race where Clint Bowyer, who is going to be in the chase, purposely spun out to get his teammate Martin Truex Jr. into that playoff system. And this happened right at the end of the race, and the media did follow that story throughout the remainder of the weekend. On Monday, it was announced that Truex would be kicked out of the chase and that Ryan Newman, who was leading at the time of Clint Bowyer's spin, would be in the chase. So that basically affected Ryan Newman. When Clint spun out, that affected Ryan Newman by kicking him out of the chase, but now he's in because of the penalties handed down to Michael Waltrip Racing. Jeff Gordon sent a tweet the other day, on Monday actually, saying, quote, "Feel bad for Truex. He got in under controversy, now out due to it. But the guy who started all of this is not affected at all. Don't agree." Jeff then later tweeted, "Take me out of this completely. At this point, all that matters to me is that if NASCAR decides to fix this, then fix it completely," end quote. Should Clint Bowyer have been the one kicked out of the chase instead of Martin Truex Jr. for something that Clint did? And you can send me your reply on Twitter. You can send me a reply to _S_sports news, or you can comment below on the Facebook status that we're going to post after the show. And the best comment or the best Twitter message will win a t-shirt from the Crowder bookstore. So, should Clint Bowyer be kicked out of the race? The chase for the Sprint Cup starts this weekend at Chicagoland. You can watch that race Sunday on ESPN. And here's another Twitter message from Jimmy Johnson, 5-time Sprint Cup champion. "The regular season is behind us, and I'm excited for what's ahead. #6pack. This Sunday, Chicagoland on ESPN. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit about Crowder Sports and talk a little bit more about the MVP for the century, and we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Stadium Sessions. It's Crowder's new sports podcast show. Well, anyway, soccer has a soccer game tonight. It's here at home at the Crowder campus in Neosho. They are playing Neosho County, and the game is at 4 o'clock at the soccer field here in Neosho. And I also heard from around the water cooler that if Crowder wins tonight, Pizza Palace in Joplin will feed the team for free. So I think that's pretty good that Pizza Palace would do that. But anyway, yeah, soccer tonight at 4 at the soccer field. Also, let me talk a little bit about the Crowder MVP. What it's about is you can vote for your favorite athlete if they get nominated, and it's from the four sports: softball, baseball, basketball, and soccer. You can vote at the Crowder Bookstore here in Neosho, at the Crowder Cafeteria here in Neosho, and you can also vote online if you don't live here in Neosho and can't make it up here. You can vote online at www.crowdercentury.com, and it's under our weekly poll. And we keep that open for a couple of weeks so that way we can get all the votes we can. The candidates for the September MVP for softball, we have Allison Tanyan and Cheyenne Nichols. For baseball, we have Tyler McKenzie and Ty White. For soccer, we have Luis Martinez and Jose Valdez. And for basketball, we only have one candidate because the team only has 10 players, so they don't want to release all the players at one time, so I can understand that. But the basketball candidate is Dorian Briggs. Voting does end today for the September MVP, so as soon as you get done listening to this show, you can bounce on over to www.crowdercentury.com and vote for who you think should be Crowder MVP. So, lots of good stuff. Also, with our Crowder Century Twitter and Facebook account, let me just clarify that a little bit more. You can follow us on Twitter at CS_sports news for our sports department. You can also follow us on our regular newsroom account, CS_NewsNet. And you can also follow me, my professional Twitter account. It's Ryan_Land8893K, capital K. And also you can find us on Facebook. We do post daily statuses about the happenings here at Crowder, and we're under Crowder Century News Network, which is our name of our entire organization. So feel free to follow us and like us on Facebook and keep following us for more info. And of course, we want to give a special thanks to LaTanya Bailey. She is our instructor here that organizes all of this, and we've been working hard all summer, and I think everybody deserves a round of applause for all the hard work we've produced over the summer. Amelia, you got any final words to say today before we depart?
Our print comes out Friday.
Oh, so that's right.
Yeah. So definitely check out that and keep updated. Follow us, subscribe, like us, everything. That way you can make the most of what we produce.
Good deal. Next week's show will have the winner of the September Century MVP. We'll also talk some Arkansas Razorback football because, they're doing pretty good so far this season. They're now 2-0, so we'll see what happens this Saturday when they play, and we'll talk about them next week. And just whatever happens this weekend in the sporting world, sports is unpredictable. Anything can happen, so... Well, that is it. That is all the time we have for stadium sessions. I thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.